Descending from helicopters, the Israeli commandos opened fire on the Gaza Freedom Flotilla of 6 ships that were bringing 10,000 tons of humanitarian aid and construction materials to Gaza. And reportedly they murdered 19 human rights workers on one of those ships. And they wounded many more people. More than 700 human rights workers were on these 6 ships. And they came from 40 countries. And there were 35 members of parliament from various European countries. And the passenger list even included a Nobel Prize winner. And among the parliamentarians were some from Israel. But I'll just say this. The British foreign minister came out with a statement early this morning deploring the Israeli government attack. And he called on the government of Israel to open the crossings to allow unfettered access for aid to Gaza. And this was fantastic to hear the British government come out with a demand for an end to the blockade. But the U.S. government has not joined in calling for an end to the blockade. One thing that struck me yesterday before the attack was an article that was translated from the Hebrew press in Israel. It was from the largest circulation daily newspaper in Israel, and it foreshadowed what was going to happen. It's called, I don't know how to, it's called Yedioth Ahronot newspaper. And the paper said, according to estimates, Israel is unlikely to pay that high a price, as a global non-Arab media has shown little interest in the affair so far. And they were referring to the 6 ships sailing toward Gaza, that there was very little media interest in the West, although there was a lot of interest in the Arab world, Iran, and in other parts of the world. It didn't seem like the BBC and the New York Times and papers like that were paying a lot of attention. So they calculated that the Israeli government wouldn't have to pay a very high price politically and in public relations for whatever action they took. And that cynical approach just didn't feel right to me. So what it says is that if after this attack there isn't sufficient reaction from the public and from the media, we can expect this to be replicated over and over again. Attacks by human rights workers, and Israel provides sort of the advance for other Western countries to do the same. But it seems like that didn't happen. There's been a huge outpouring of interest. There's been a huge outpouring, not just in Turkey, but in all parts of the world. There are demonstrations all over the United States, and this is one of them on short notice. People are coming out, and the media is taking a huge interest in it, although too late. Unfortunately, too late. If they had taken that interest a few days ago, maybe the Israelis would have made a different calculation.
The Army and Air Force just did is a terrorist attack on unarmed civilians. When civilians are coming with plastic chairs and pieces of their civilian boat are armed with humanitarian aid to Gaza, it's an attack of unarmed civilians. And I flew these helicopters in the same squadron that participated in this massacre earlier this morning. And I can just tell you that when one of these helicopters hover above you, whether you're in the street, in Church Street in beautiful Burlington, or in the middle of the sea, this is an attack. And when the soldiers come down with this fast rope, this is one of the most crazy and frightening times for a human being to be under this crazy machine that, by the way, we get for free from Senator Leahy, that is the head of the Appropriations Committee. So it's all connected to us here in Burlington. And when these people are responding against these soldiers, I consider it as a self-defense, and not what the Israeli propaganda is saying, that they are self-defending the soldiers that are attacking these boats. And I just want to say one thing. We are here meeting many times in front of the City Hall. I think it's about time that we are going to engage in a little bit more things here in Burlington. I talk about civil disobedience. I'm talking about when we march now up to Church Street, to the church or wherever we go, I encourage, and I will do that, entering to Old Navy, Starbucks, to the restaurants with our signs. We don't have to bother anyone. We'll just walk inside. We're not just going to walk on this line, because walking on this line is where no one really care about what we say. So if someone is interested and it's okay with them, just join us and go inside the restaurants, inside the shops. Let's wake up the people of Burlington, because they are responsible to the killing of innocents in Gaza and in the boat today. Because your senator, our senator, is now the head of the Appropriations Committee, and all the helicopters, all the guns, all the missiles, all the soldiers' uniform, everything is sponsored by the money that is given by your senator as the final signature on this US military aid to Israel. $3 billion a year, $2 billion for the military, another billion and civilian aid, and many other billions in the last few years. So we are all responsible, whether we live in Burlington, in Israel, in Palestine, and I encourage you to engage in civil disobedience if it's possible, maybe in the next few days, to block the entrance to his farm or to his house or I don't know what. Let's not let this city go on, just everything is okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll do a circle and go out.
That's okay. Yeah, we actually
walk back up
need
that
you
way.
guys to go there.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, we'll do a turn and we
Thank
go
you.
I'll go around.
All right.